Every student is a unique individual. Each student has their own thoughts, learning styles, and needs. It is important to support these individual students during instruction and assessments so students can show what they know and can do. This is the first in a series of videos about the Individual Student Assessment Accessibility Profile, also known as the ISAAP. This video describes a team consisting of educators, students, and families working together to select resources for individual students, both in instruction and when they're allowed on assessments. An additional video will share how to use the ISAAP tool to record those resources selected during the ISAAP process. Receiving instruction and taking assessments can be challenging for students if their unique needs aren't met. Smarter Balanced has a variety of resources to support each student based on their individual needs. But how do you choose what's right for each student? Smarter Balanced offers an easy-to-use tool that will help you connect the resources your students might use during the instruction with the resources on the Smarter Balanced assessments. It's called the ISAAP tool. It's about choosing individual resources for your students for the assessment to ensure accessibility. Keep in mind, some states or territories may have a slightly different tool and process and may refer to some elements by alternative names. You may be wondering what an accessibility resource is. At Smarter Balanced, accessibility is core to our mission. We work to ensure each student can access educational materials and assessments in a fair and equitable way. Accessibility resources are selected for students on an individual basis. For instance, you may have a student who is an English learner, or a student who reads and writes in Braille, or maybe you have a student who needs to have text read aloud to them. Accessibility resources include all of these supports and more so that students can access the content on assessments. A student may need a combination of resources to support their preferences and needs. The ISAAP tool will help you make this decision. Accessibility resources help students show what they know and can do without compromising the integrity of the assessments and what is being measured. The accessibility resources are grounded in the principles of universal design: usable, accessible, and inclusive. The cornerstone of universal design is that you include as many learners with diverse needs as possible from the very beginning. The accessibility resources and the ISAAP tool are developed based on guidance from educators and input from students and specialists to align with best practices. The goal is that students can access their educational materials and assessments in a fair and equitable way. Smarter Balanced built a 3-tier accessibility system to help meet the diverse needs and preferences of students. The 3 tiers are universal tools, designated supports, and accommodations. The first tier, universal tools, is designed to include as many students as possible. Students can choose whether they want to use these tools. And, depending upon student need and preference, the tools can be turned off. Some examples include a line reader, highlighter, zoom, and scratch paper. The second tier is designated supports. These supports are set by the student's teacher along with others from the student's team, such as parents and other educators or specialists. Students can also help select their supports when appropriate. Some examples of designated supports include translated glossaries, simplified test directions, text-to-speech, and read aloud. The third tier is accommodations. These resources are for students who have a documented need noted in their individual education program or a 504 plan. Some examples include Braille, American Sign Language, and word prediction. The ISAAP tool and process will help you and your students' teams determine what combination of the accessibility system tiers best represent what your students are using while learning. There are 7 steps to complete the ISAAP process. First, gather your team consisting of educators, students, and families, and define everyone's roles. Next, provide information and training for the team on the available resources and have everyone explore your state's or territory's practice test and Smarter Balanced Sample Item website. You'll then identify students who may benefit from designated supports and accommodations. Next, select and discuss the appropriate supports and accommodations for each student. You'll then enter the selected resources into the test registration system. Keep in mind, there may be someone at your school or district who is responsible for this step. Once that's completed, check with your school's assessment staff that the assigned designated supports and accommodations are available and have been activated for your students. Finally, after administering an assessment, check that the correct supports were available to students when they took the assessment. You could even meet with your students to see if they meaningfully used the resources during testing. As you and your team are working through the process, the ISAAP tool should be used with the Smarter Balanced usability, accessibility, and accommodations guidelines. You'll also need to follow your state or territory's regulations and policies related to assessment accessibility. Additionally, the Smarter Balanced Sample Items website is a great resource to see embedded supports in action. We hope this information about the accessibility resources and the Individual Student Assessment Accessibility Profile tool is helpful. Thank you for watching.